You knew when he said he didn't want to have a child, you decided to go through with the pregnancy. And I'm going to say it, you forced fatherhood onto a man because he couldn't force you to keep it if you wanted to terminate.
I was trying to explain, Kevin. I only knew him for a month before I ended up pregnant.
Holy shit.
Imagine finding out that the woman you thought you knew has made a life-altering decision without your consent, getting pregnant and raising a child while excluding you from the picture. Today, we are diving into Kevin Samuel's intense debate with a modern woman who challenges traditional roles and expectations. What does this mean for modern relationships? Let us unpack this together. I will save my comments and reactions at the end of the video.
Your child should know where her father is. They should have some sort of relationship. Because more likely than not, he don't want to be around. Did he say he didn't want to have a child?
Yes.
So why does he have a child?
Oh, not until after I had my child did I find out that my child is his fifth child and I'm baby mama number 4.
No. When you were pregnant, when he found out you were pregnant, did he say he wanted another child?
No, he told me to
Thank you.
terminate.
Thank you. So you chose to have the child. So, ma'am,
Yeah.
with respect, I'm just going to go there.
Okay.
You said you didn't use a condom.
Right.
That's on you. You chose to make a baby. And you chose to deal with a man who was impregnating 1, 2, 3, 4. That's why I say the majority of kids in black.
I didn't know.
Excuse me, ma'am. That's bullshit. I don't want to hear. I don't want to hear that.
Seriously,
You're
I
in
did
it.
not
No,
know.
You didn't do your homework. You didn't do your homework.
Well,
You didn't do your homework. You didn't do your home. You didn't do your home. You didn't. You didn't do your home. You didn't do your homework.
It gets better.
You didn't do your homework. No, it doesn't get better because now it's about to go off the rails. Because we have allowed women like you to just tell these woe is me stories. Here we go again. A woman almost 40 years old, baby mama number fucking 5, sitting up here talking about, she don't know where her dad is. The man told you he didn't want to have a baby. Did you make a man a father again? And here we go with this dysfunctional ass cycle. And we wonder why our community is wrecking. Exhibit A, the modern woman. I don't know where he is. Don't want to be around because he didn't want to have the kid in the first place. Fine. So why make the man a child? Why make the man a father? Go read the book Promises I Can Keep. Why poor women choose motherhood over marriage. I said it 2 days ago. It needs to be rewritten. Why modern women choose motherhood over marriage. She kept the baby because she knows she can't have a relationship with anybody. So at least she can have a child so she won't be alone. That has become the norm. You're smiling? Exhibit A. We see this all the time. Women getting pregnant in their 30s. That's what these women are. So when my critics and detractors come and tell us that we should wife up and marry these women, here it is. Marry this, wife this. Well, they don't think a man's worth anything anyway. They didn't use one man for his DNA, and you pick one who was loose with it. And then gonna say, well, I didn't know. You didn't do your homework. You let a man you didn't know shoot the club up raw. If you want to have a conversation, but we're not going to do this like an accountability shit. I have one thing to say before you, ma'am. I don't care what you think about this man. That's her father, whether he wants to be there or not. Do you know your dad?
My father passed away when I was 19, and no, he wasn't in my life in that way.
When you asked your mother about your father, what did she tell you?
mean, throughout my life, my mom never spoke a bad word about my father.
And you never asked where your dad was?
No, I know where he was. And he would, like for my birthday, he would send me gifts. He lived in a different state. And he would call, and I grew up in the 80s, so.
So you don't feel like there was anything missing by not having a father around?
I mean, growing up, I think the focus was on
Do you not feel
surviving.
like there was anything missing by not having a father around, surviving or not? See, one thing we've done in the black community is we've said if a man don't have money, he ain't worth nothing. I reject that. You
Yeah, no,
decide.
my father,
Ma'am, I ask you, do you feel like
money
there was
wasn't
anything
the issue.
with just money? I ask you, do you feel like there was anything missing by not having a father around, not knowing who the other half of you is? Half of you don't know.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's a problem, ma'am. That's
No,
why
I
you're
know
that's
it's a
part of
problem.
the that's part of the reason you don't understand the value of men, because
Right.
half of who you are you don't have any knowledge of. And
Yeah.
your mother doesn't sound like she did anything to facilitate that knowledge. And what are you doing? You're doing the same thing. Half of your child. This is a very sad way to live, because only this happens in our community. 80% of our children are born out of wedlock. Is the black community better off today or back in 1940, Jim Crow segregation?
Is that a rhetorical
No, I'm
question?
asking you a question.
No,
Is the
yeah,
black
it was.
community better off today or back in 1940, Jim Crow and segregation?
Um, the obvious answer is, during Jim Crow and segregation.
Why?
Well, because we had our own communities and we had our own businesses, and our men were in the households,
And
and
we weren't as educated. We didn't have the disposable income, but we had families. And we
yeah,
understood that having rice and beans, it was and a man and a woman and kids was better than eating sushi with a mama and her daughter. All I'm saying, ma'am, is you picked the man that you made laid down with. You picked the man that you chose to have a child with. You knew when he said he didn't want to have a child, you decided to go through with the pregnancy. And I'm going to say it, you forced fatherhood onto a man because he couldn't force you to keep it if you wanted to terminate. Well,
yeah.
then,
And then I left him alone. I didn't
yeah,
bother him
but
at
I don't,
all.
but I don't, but it, but see, the problem is, ma'am, and I'm gonna tell you if nobody else tells you. Unfortunately, when you decide to make that child, it stopped being about you. It's about her. That's her father. That's your ex-man. Your shit with him has nothing to do with her. You need therapy, and you need that child to have some sort of relationship with her father, because there's something in you, ma'am, that you got to admit is missing.
I'm already in therapy. I've been in therapy for
Well,
years.
good. And all I'm saying is that
Even
good,
before
but
I had my
good,
daughter.
your
Yeah.
daughter is all I'm saying is we got to get to the point to where women can separate what they had with their men between their. That's your ex man. That's her
I
daddy.
No, well, that's the thing. I was trying to explain, Kevin. I only knew him for a month before I ended up pregnant.
Holy shit.
Yeah, you wouldn't let me talk. So, when I was dating him, when I got pregnant, I didn't know him. So when he said he wanted me to terminate, I said, well, I understand. We don't know each other. We just met. Um, and he went his way and I went mine. And then 3 months into the pregnancy, he kept calling me, and calling me. And he came back into my life. I was still pregnant. And he actually was the one that did her nursery. He painted it, he put furniture together. And then we were together up until she was 2 months. And then when I broke things off with him, he left. And then I never heard from him again. And I reached out to him and he blocked me. He blocked me on his phone. He blocked me on WhatsApp. He blocked me on Facebook. So now I stopped trying.
College
Kevin, are you
education, yeah,
there?
college, yeah, yeah, man. I don't know if you thought that was gonna make it better, but it just made it exponentially worse. Hey,
No, I
no,
just
no, ma'am. I'll let you
wanted to,
speak.
I wanted to tell the
I'll
truth.
let you speak. I'll let you speak.
Yeah, I just wanted to tell the truth
I'll
and let
let
it
you. I'll let you. Please don't overtalk. I'll let you go and get it all out.
Mhm.
A mid 30-year-old college educated professional woman decides to make a baby with a mother sucker you only know for less than a month. How many times, ladies and gentlemen, have I told you? Often today's modern single mother is pregnant longer than she knew the goddamn father.
Mhm.
And then all this chaos while you're pregnant is on you. You chose to maintain this pregnancy.
Mhm.
Doing the nursery or not doing the nursery is irrelevant. Of course, you didn't know how many kids he had. Do you even know? Did you even do an STD panel or background on him?
Oh, yes. Well, that's part of my medical.
Oh,
We
okay. So you
yeah,
checked
yeah.
to make sure he didn't have any diseases, but you didn't check to see if he had any kids. What the French toast?
Well, he told me he had one.
Okay, yeah,
He told me he had one.
one, but he had four.
He had four, yes.
To my critics and detractors, this is who you're asking single men to go marry. That's what y'all need to understand. This is the market. Women who are this reckless, this dismissive. This is who you're telling men to go marry. And if they don't marry these women, they're a bunch of betas and punks and bitches and cowards. No, it is intelligent for men to avoid these situations. This has been one of the most sad calls I've ever had in my life.
Oh, wow. Well, the other thing is, I mean, being a single mom, I know you said you have to prove that you're not a liability.
Oh, you're a liability like a mother.
Now, how am I a liability? My daughter's not a liability. She's very well taken care of.
Ma'am, I've talked to you for the better part of an hour, and your mindset is a liability. I don't care about your education or your resources. I care about your mental state. You are a liability.
In, okay, in terms of, I'm
Man, you
missing
had
it.
a baby. You had a baby by a man that you didn't know, and you're a medical professional.
Yeah.
That's
So,
enough right there. The man asked you to terminate because he did not want to be a father. He did not come to you to say, "Hey, I'm looking to have another kid." You guys were having casual sex. And when he
mhm.
said, "I don't want this," you said, "I'm going to have the baby." Why?
Well, I was 36. And as you know,
Promises I can keep. Why single women choose pregnancy and motherhood over marriage. Because this was her last chance to have a baby and was more about her than a kid. My critics and detractors may not like my methods, but it stands the test of time. You made a selfish choice.
I did. I'm fully aware of that.
So being a parent is selfish?
No, bringing her into this situation was selfish.
So you made a selfish choice.
Yes. Yeah.
Should we continue to go on? You
Only
you
if
you,
you
you
want
had
to.
unprotected sex. No, you had unprotected sex with a man you knew less than a month or so. You got pregnant by the dude. He asked you to terminate, and you said, "To hell with that. Just my last chance to have a baby, so I'm going to do this."
Hmm.
You even know his people?
Oh, yes, her.
No, no. Back up. You couldn't know his people. You couldn't know who
I know them
impregnated you.
now. But I didn't know what I
Yes,
was
but you couldn't know then. So you
doing. No,
didn't care whose seed you were carrying.
no, I did not. In my
That's your
mind, yeah,
that's your
yeah. In
mental
my mind, I'm pregnant
ma'am,
and I
ma'am.
have to go through with it.
You don't have to do anything. You're
Okay.
in your mind, you're pregnant, and this is the last chance I'm gonna have. And I know I'm not gonna get married because I can't keep a man longer than a year. If I don't have this baby, I will die childless and unmarried. So I might as well have the baby. That's the truth. Don't try to pretty this shit up. I'm too good at this.
It is very clear to everyone watching this video that this particular modern woman simply didn't want to die alone. This woman was looking for a solution on how to have someone with her in her home. She couldn't keep a man. She didn't know how to live with someone. I'm talking of having a man in her life. She looked for a proper way on how to land a man, and everything was ready. She hatched a proper plan, a plan that would at least lead her to having someone with in the home. Remember, all this was done when she was 36, so age was a problem on her side. And now I want to tell you one thing, that most modern women are like her. We have seen very many modern women that are settling in for men, not because they want to, but because they have to. When they were 20, 23, 25, they were chasing men out of their lives. And now when things have changed, the tables have changed, they are willing to allow anyone into their lives. Many modern women are culprits or are similar to this modern woman. The difference between her is the fact that she tricked a man into having unprotected sex, later conceiving a child that the man didn't want. She comes out to even tell us that she later understood that she was baby mama number 4. Man, that is being too low. That's being too low, you know. It's quite concerning to find out that you are baby number 4, and even the child is baby number 5. Don't forget that this is a woman that has a very big position in the medical field. She's educated, respected wherever she is, but the decision she decided to take will haunt her forever. However, our major concern is the fact that the child is growing up without having a father figure in her life. The decision that she's taking of denying the father to grow up with the child is a decision that is going to be in that entire generation of the child. Just like her. She comes out to tell us that her father died when she was 19, and later she grew up not having a father figure in her life. Something that she's trying to do or to practice again in his child's life as well. And that's what Kevin Samuel is trying to check. And I agree with Kevin, by the way, 100%. She needs to find a way of bonding this child with the father, regardless of the fact that she tricked him. The guy didn't want the child. But it happened now. The child needs the father. The child needs to know who the father is and how to reach the father, in order to break the curses, to break the problems that could arise when the child grows up without the father. Now, it's not compulsory, but it's a problem with many women like her. Women tend to want to be independent, and it's a growing problem in our communities. when women grow up, get educated, get those jobs, they tend to see themselves as men. They want to put themselves in positions that makes them feel like they are men. And this is wrong, you know. You can never be the man. You can't be the man. A man's role is understood in society. A woman's role is also understood in society. And I want to tell you, this is where women are getting it wrong. By thinking that what a man can do, they can do. They think that they can take care of the children, raise them up very well without the man in their lives. And this is why there is high crime rate in such areas where children are raised by single parents. It's a problem, you know, and it's something that we need to check and eliminate. I would like to hear what you think, but I want to tell you, it is something that we need to check and eliminate. Otherwise, it will get out of hand. A solution needs to be found for such behaviors and such attitudes of women. Why won't you do that anyway? Recently, we came to an understanding of what happened to Anthony Edwards, a basketball player who faced something similar when a woman that is even older than him decided to conceive a child against his will. The woman goes on to have a child and she goes on to court demand for money. You know? I don't know, but it's a problem. I would like to hear what you think about this modern woman, but my understanding or my concern is she's wrong and she needs to correct that mistake. For as long as the man is still alive, correct it very fast. Let the child know the father at least. And yes, life goes on. Let me know what you think in the comment section. And thank you guys for watching. See you next.